Hey guys, this video is going to introduce you to the GI drugs known as resins, specifically cholestyramine and colestipol, which are drugs that work to treat hypercholesterolemia, or an elevated amount of cholesterol in the body. Now, how these drugs work is they actually block the enterohepatic circulation that recycles bile salts and bile acids, But what does that mean? We're going to start with how bile salts and bile acids work, and then we'll get to how resins treat that. We're going to start up here in the liver, and as we probably remember, the liver creates bile acids, right? It makes bile acids, bile salts. What this bile does from its creation is it travels down to the gallbladder, most of it, where it then gets stored and purified until it's needed. When you have that meal coming from your stomach down into your duodenum, the gallbladder ejects those purified and stored bile salts and bile acids into the duodenum, where it acts on the food contents, essentially, of that meal. Now, how is this bile made? It's actually made from cholesterol. So you need cholesterol to make this helpful thing in your body. Thus, cholesterol is not always all bad. If you hear that, it's not necessarily always a bad thing. And so after you use cholesterol, you make this bile, it gets stored and purified, and then it gets used. This food content is going to drive down through the intestine until it reaches the ileum, or the distal portion of the small intestine, the last portion of the small intestine, where it will get recycled 90%. And that 90% of that recycled bile salt, bile acid will then travel back up through what's known as the enterohepatic circulation. And since this recycling occurs, we don't need to use any more cholesterol to make more bile, right? Because we're recycling 90% of it. Only a little bit gets excreted, continues on the intestines, and gets excreted each day. Now, what do resins do? Resins lower the amount of cholesterol in your body by blocking enterohepatic circulation. So what does this mean? This means that you can't recycle your bile. You need to make new bile. How do you make new bile? Like we just said, we use cholesterol. So if you're making new bile because you can't recycle it, you're going to then drive down that amount of free cholesterol in your body, and you're going to treat that hypercholesterolemia. And that's how resins work.